Good morning, Polly Nikes here, and today I've got a battle report for you between the Combined Army and the USARF Ranger Force. In fact, we are doing a tournament prep for this ITS tournament, which is going to be on the 6th of next month, hosted by Every Little War. There's a link on my channel, and I'll put a link in the channels below to Every Little War, which is a fine purveyor of Infinity terrain and such. The mission that we're going to be playing today is Power Pack. So quickly into Power Pack. Alright, Power Pack is a mission that's been around for a while now. It's been changed a little bit in Season 10. And one of the, I don't know if it's changed or not, but one of the items here, down here, prevent the enemy from having connected your console at the end of the game. Unfortunately, there are no rules in Power Pack for how to connect a console. So, if you play this event, or excuse me, if you play this mission with in a friendly game, make sure to ask your opponent how you'd like to play that. If you're playing in a tournament, ask the TO how they're going to be running that, because that's not really clear. Additionally, the deployment map, you can see here in the book, this is what it says, 8 inches of either side. On the map, there's a little gray area that says saturation area, and then there's a gray area here that says 8 inches, and neither one of these match, and it's a little unclear. Things like this I don't really care about in the game. I just want to know how they are before we start. So I let my opponent decide how he wants to play it. And we said that we were going to do the full 8 inches to either side, which means from the center of the map all the way to your deployment zone is the saturation zone. So that's how we played it. All right, here's my army. I know I'm going up against USARF, so a couple things are taken into account there. And there's also a model I want to play right here, Ada Swanson. Yeah, I want to play her, and so she's in the list. Actually, we'll jump right ahead, and you'll see, there she is. I'm by no means an expert painter, but I like this model. I painted it. There it is. You can see her stat line down here. Not terribly impressive. She's only 24 points. She is forward deployment level 1, which is a very good ability in Power Pack. But I feel that I could do her job with a shrouded. A shrouded boarding shotgun is 1 point cheaper. A shrouded forward observer is 1 point more expensive. The Morat mercenaries also do a very similar job for cheaper. So I'm not sure how much I actually like this troop, but I played it today and you'll see how she does. All right, back up to my list. So here's my list. The Umbra. I like anything that attacks BTS when I play against Ariadne, because I've had games where I just can't get through their armor and it's really annoying. I like this guy as a lieutenant because once he eats somebody, gets a wound up on him, then he's pretty hard to kill. Everything else is pretty standard for lists that I build, except the Noctifier. I'm not a huge fan of the Noctifier. I know many players live and die by this model. I think it's the best thing in the Combined Army, take as many as they can. I have had limited success with this thing every time I've played it. Usually it takes a shot and then it dies, and it usually misses. Yeah. And then my second group down here, providing a little ARO support. The Preta I love. It's an expendable troop that is a real threat to the enemy. All right, moving on. This is my opponent's army. Of course, I don't have this full list till after the game. He does have a airborne guy in here, airborne ranger, which I kind of assume there's something coming airborne. You'll see during the game, but I don't know where it is or what it's going to do. I'll give you a second to look at all his different units there. One thing that you see right in the beginning of the game is he links these 5 guys, and then, because I'm going first, and then on his turn he relinks the Marauders up here. So he's trying to get the link bonus for different purposes, so the reactive turn and the active turn. You can do that a couple times in a game with your command tokens, especially if that's all you plan on doing with them. Okay. There's Miss Swanson again. There she is. All right, here's our board. This is the side I end up setting up on. I won the lieutenant role and chose to go first. Which again, back to Ada Swanson. I chose to go first because I had her. She's a midfield starting model with no camo state. I'm pretty sure she's just going to die if I go second. And she won't really be contributing anything. That wouldn't be better off being, as I said, like a shrouded or something like that. So I choose to go first to give her some work. This is the other side of the board. And I remember playing Power Pack, so deployment zones are kind of like that and like that. Something like that, maybe a little farther up on this side. I don't remember exactly. You'll see it on my side when we get over there. All right, so let me move my camera. You can see where my Noctifier is hidden deployed. This is inside the 16, obviously. And the other ones are not deployed yet. They're just out there. That's my hidden guy. Okay, this is final deployment. We have the Q drone HMG right here. We have the E drone over here. We have the camo token, which is the Oswon with the boarding shotgun and adhesive launcher. I like him against USARF again because he can attack BTS with his Protheon, and the boarding shotgun, the adhesive launcher can stop anything like Van Zant in one hit. He can't go dogged against it, he just gets stuck in place. Middle of the board, we have 2 Imatrons, both landed there. It's a little unclear if they get assisted jump or assisted combat drop, whatever it's called for this season. We are playing that they do, so they're able to drop in real tight like that. This is my HVT down here in the center, and then moving on to my right. Kurgat, boarding shotgun, my engineer, M-drone, sensor, my Preta up there. This is my Xenotech, and then the Umbra, who's the lieutenant right in there. I also have a camo token that maybe I missed, which is my Shrouded. It's very center of the board right up there. You'll see it when we get to, I think, turn 1. Opponent's deployment. 5-man grunt link. This grunt right here is the lieutenant, though of course I don't know that. It's got a boarding shotgun, a light grenade launcher. Yeah, and there's 2 snipers, one there, and this one over here is a paramedic. And I think this one is just a normal one. All right. So center of the board, he's got his Marauders. They all have forward deployment 1, which means in this game forward deployment 2 in this season, as a matter of fact. So they're able to come all the way out this side, as far as they want, really, as opposed to limited to the 12 inches. He's got 2 more of them right between these buildings down here. We've got a sniper, a heavy rocket launcher, a Molotov. I know there's a flamethrower over here, and I don't remember the last one. This camo token is his Foxtrot, which I believe is a boarding shotgun, forward observer maybe. I don't recall. You can look at the army list to see. And Rosie over here. Again, she has some forward deployment skills, and this is her Xenotech. Okay. My reserve, oh no, his other camo token in this building here. You can barely see it in the picture, but there's a camo token right there. And here's my camo token, which is not my reserve, but it's my Shrouded forward observer. Okay. My reserve, you can see up here, Miss Swanson. She's up there in prone. And the plan for her is to move up, get in a firefight up here, possibly steal the enemy Xenotech, plant the multi-tracker using their Xenotech, and then run it back over here, covered by the Q drone, firing down this lane to protect it. And the Shrouded will, of course, go over here, get objectives, and actually do things that are important. Okay. And my opponent's reserve is the Maverick over here. Mavericks are bikers that are also medium infantry, so also have forward deployment, which is pretty awesome for the biker. It has a light rocket launcher and whatever else they come with. Okay. Into turn 1. The Hungry impetuously runs up and gets shot at by the Grunt sniper. Remember the saturation zone in the center, so it's only burst 1, still on a 17, but the Hungry successfully dodges and just sits right there. We'll come back to the Hungry near the end of my turn when I decide what to do with it again, because I think it's a pretty interesting decision. All right, the Dadarazai, his impetuous move. He runs up here, plops a smoke over here to cover the Yalgat. Just in case there's any tempting targets for the Yalgat to shoot, you can do so out of smoke. Note the facing on the Dadarazai. Facing on these guys are the brown front of the base, so it's like this, right? So facing that way. And this is because I'm worried about Van Zant coming on, so he's helping me cover that side of the board. In the middle, Miss Swanson moves up. She drops off a viral mine right here, and then starts to deal with this engagement. The enemy camo token is right behind here, and Rosie is right around there, around that corner over there. So the first thing I do is try to intuitively lay a mine right here, which will threaten both of them. I fail, and when I try to step out, I realize that was a mistake. I could have come far enough out where I could have placed the mine because I can see Rosie, and have her in the blast radius and also threaten the camo token over there. But I wasted an order not placing a marker. His Xenotech is dodging every time I do something, trying to come this way, just trying to get forward farther and farther, which seems like a fine play to me. If I do indeed kill Rosie, though, it would make it easier for me to sync with her and run away. All right. So this is the point where I move up to here, and I can see Rosie, and I can see the camo token. So if I had been just a little bit back from that, I would not have seen them, but I could have laid the mine there, which would see Rosie. So yes, this Xenotech would stop it from detonating on her. That's true. So I step up to here and open up with my SMGs on them as they shoot. Rosie shoots me with the shotgun, the Foxtrot reveals and shoots me, and I split burst with AP rounds, because I don't want to shock this guy off the board, and Rosie's shock immune and dog it anyway. And that exchange goes very well for Ada Swanson. She puts down the Foxtrot and puts Rosie into Dogged. At this point, I realized that trying to get her out of Dogged probably isn't worth it. She's going to die. I don't need to go fight that. But it does mean I can't sink the enemy Xenotech and run away with it. So I accept that. I use my E drone over here to upgrade my Q drone, so it's got marksman and is defending me. It's importantly covering that lane here, which is the approach to Ada Swanson. Okay, enemy camo token over here is revealed by the M drone peeking around the corner. It's got +6 for being a sensor, -3 for camo, -3 for cover, and it rolls an 8 and gets him. So he's there. Now I'm deciding what to do about that if I want to deal with it. The Shrouded moves up over here, plants a mine out here, protecting this objective, and then moves into the corner and goes prone. I really wanted to get that objective this turn, but I just didn't have the orders. I did so much with Ada over there. He does, however, go back into camp. All right. The E-drone, not a lot left to do with his orders in this turn because he's in group 2. He just zips over into this corner and goes to suppression fire. His line of fire is like this, and this is the corner of the board. The edge of the board is this line, like right here, right at the edge of his base. So now he's covering up here and over here with suppression fire in case Van Zandt or anybody else walks on. Okay, so here's the Hungry. The Hungry had his own irregular order left, and I could have spent one of the orders that I spent on the E-drone here. And the advantage of that was I could have run back around the corner and then ran over and possibly chain rifled the Foxtrot that I revealed over here. I thought about that for a long time. My opponent said he thought it was a good play. We talk aloud about our ideas when we're playing, my friends and I. And because the possible loss to me wasn't very much. It's just my Hungry, who's pretty much expendable anyway. And as I thought about it, I eventually wasn't 100% sure that I'd be in chain rifle range once I ran over there. And of course I have to get past the sniper. It gets one more shot at me on a 17. I would dodge on a 14. So it's not really to my advantage. But as my opponent said, not much of a loss. Until I thought about it. And I'm like, no, if I leave it here, my opponent has to spend at least one order dealing with it on his turn. If he doesn't, it's going to dodge forward every time that link does anything. And then, be over here threatening that link with a chain rifle. So also the link can be seen by the Yaugat sniper, and though my opponent doesn't know it, the Noctifier. So I want him to activate to try to shoot this, so I don't try running over there to kill the Foxtrot. Someone else can deal with that. Yeah, that's him. And first thing he does is move up and lay a mine to defend himself, and then move up again and try to attack the Yaugat sniper, which puts him unconscious, fortunately for the Yaugat. We were within 16, so it wasn't a great shot for the Yaugat. All right, and then my opponent indeed activates the link. He wants to shoot the Yaugat, and I reveal the Noctifier over here. The Noctifier is really long range and shooting into cover, so he's -6, hitting on a 6. Maybe this is why my Noctifiers never do well, because I'm always shooting on 6s or something. My opponent decides to put all 3 shots into the Noctifier, which is 2 shots after the saturation. So he gives the Yaugat a free shot at him and the Hungry a free dodge. Everybody misses. So nothing happens. The Hungry dodges forward, I believe. And I think that was it for that. Yeah, yes. And then my opponent is trying to deal with Ada over here. First thing he does is the Maverick shoots out a smoke launcher. You can see them. I don't think you can see the Maverick in the picture. No, she's behind the subway entrance here. But she shoots out a smoke grenade over here, giving some cover. And then my opponent switches the link over to the Marauders. And the sniper rifle, who's up here, performs a lean out, which puts his base effectively here. When he does so, he can see the Yaugat, he can see the Q drone, and he can see the Noctifier. So it's not the best shot for him, but he does it and fires at everybody, and nothing happens. Everybody misses or passes armor saves or whatnot. I know that the Marauder gets hit once by the Q drone and rolls exactly a 15 to save. That's with his +3 for his armor and +3 for the being in cover. And my opponent still thinks that's a good play, and so does it again, because he's spreading his sniper fires, 1 shot at each, not losing anything out of the saturation zone. And then I realize he can't make this order, because it's a little hard to see from the picture here, but this lip that runs around here is actually taller than his base. He's prone, and part of the requirements for lean out are you can't do it if there's a lip that is over half as tall as you are. So even if it was only half as tall as his base, he couldn't do it. My opponent didn't think that was the case. We looked it up. It clearly says that that is part of the requirements for lean out. As for the last order, I said, at least let's leave everything as is. Pretend that you stood up, you got hit, you made your save, and you went prone after failing guts. So you end up right where you are, exactly what the game state we had before. And my opponent agreed to that as a fix, and decides to do it again, but this time stand up. And there is a move action is part of the lean out, so you can stand up or go prone while doing it. So the second time, he is killed by the Noctifier and does not kill any of the other models. Now, the Maverick runs up over here and splits her fire, using her light rocket launcher on hit mode to fire the Noctifier and to fire at Ada. She uses hit mode because the Xenotech is here and blast mode would be cancelled. Fortunately for my opponent, the Noctifier is drop dogged. Unfortunately, the viral pistol from Ada kills the Maverick over there. And then this sniper, he's still trying to deal with my ARO pieces here. This sniper unlinked because of where the link leader moved to in fighting the Yaugat and the Noctifier. Fires at the Yaugat and gets hit. Makes 2 armor saves, fires again and crits the Yaugat. And the Yaugat is taken out by the shock round. Here's the Hungry, who's dodged up once or twice and he's kind of sitting right there right now. And I'm pretty sure this is where my opponent ended his turn. Yeah, this is my turn. This is the impetuous order of the Hungry. Runs to here. Gets shot by this sniper, but not this one because it's blocked right there. And I successfully dodge. And then he uses the irregular order to pop over here, getting now line of fire to this sniper, but not this one. Right here. The Link team decides to dodge, Hungry chain rifles, and as luck would have it, puts the paramedic unconscious, and then just sits right there. Yeah, there's the big chain rifle shot. Okay, on the other side of the board, Ada Swanson's moving up. I have, in my command phase, moved my Shrouded into Group 2, because he needs some orders to run around, but I want to spend most of the orders on Ada, because she's in a good position. I really want to go over here and steal the shotgun from this Foxtrot, because she has Scavenger, but I decide it's not worth the full order. She's pretty well armed anyway. She comes over here, does a cautious move across here to get away from snipers you can see down this alley. And then she creeps up here to just not being able to see the first Marauder, lays down a viral mine, peeks around the corner to see him. She's now out of the saturation zone, so she gets her full burst 5 on her SMGs, and the viral goes off. The viral kills both of them. We don't even roll for the SMG hits, which she did hit this guy 3 times with the SMG. Yeah, and there they are gone. Ada then backs up, leaves a mine here. This is a mistake, because this is her 4th mine. She, of course, only has 3. I forgot that I had done the intuitive attack and failed, as did my opponent. Fortunately, it doesn't come up relevant in the game. My opponent does have a combat jumper, but it's one he selected ahead of time, and he has not selected over there. So it's really just me wasting an order thinking I have a mine there. But it was a mistake. Last couple of orders of the turn, you can see the Shrouded has got this objective here. And the Q-Drone has moved up, and the Oswong has moved up, just trying to cover more board edge and be closer to the middle of the board for a 3rd turn rush to my opponent's objective. All right. Yeah. The Kurgat moved down here, leaving a mine behind him, because again, one of the worst things that could happen to me this turn, Van Zant comes on over here, right? Walks around the corner over here, kills my lieutenant. That would be terrifying. So I left a mine that would kind of protect that, put the lieutenant on suppressive fire, and yeah, that's where I ended my turn. There's the Hungry, still staring everybody down. Don't activate him again. So my opponent has to deal with it on his turn. And what happens is the Airborne Ranger shows up. This is, again, chosen at the beginning of the game, right next to my HVT, where he can see the Kurgat with the boarding shotgun right there. And he can also see the Oswong with the adhesive launcher up there. I do reveal the Oswong and adhesive. The adhesive launcher sticks, glues the Airborne Ranger down, and he also goes unconscious to the boarding shotgun. He's within 8 inches, so that wasn't terribly unlikely. I believe that is where we called the game. My opponent didn't have any other tricks up his sleeve. Both of his links were depleted, at least slightly for the grunts, but they only have their own group orders. And he didn't have much else to do at that point. We didn't count up the victory points there because I had another turn to go if I wanted to get victory points. He wasn't in retreat or anything. But that is where we called it. What did I think about this game? Ada did very well. Again, I think I could have done the same job with a Renegade, the Morat Renegade, or even a Shrouded boarding shotgun or another Shrouded forward observer. Could have done a similar job. Actually, maybe you want to go first, which I don't really like. I really prefer going second. This mission is just fine for going second in. But overall, it went fine, and I hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. I'll give you another one in the near future. All right.